Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to an end of a spectacular movie year, and I'll be chronicling the best and worst of said year in a little bit. But let's focus on next year, 2012, which is looking to be utterly fantastic. However, we'll get to that later. These are the top 10 movies to dread in 2012. Number 10 is the animated sequel Ice Age 4 Continental. Now, I enjoyed the first Ice Age movie a lot. I think it's one of the better animated movies of the early 2000s. I think it's really funny and very quick-witted and clever. However, the sequels just went downhill. The second one is okay, but the third movie was just flat. And I feel like this movie's just going to be even worse. The thing is, Ice Age is a very one-note joke. It worked well in the first movie, but in the subsequent sequels, all the jokes are just getting so much more over the top, so much more stereotyped, so much flatter. There's nothing you can really do with these characters except send them on another wacky adventure. And it's just going to feel tired by the fourth movie. I really don't think that this movie is going to make up for the third movie. And it just seems very lame and uninspired. And you never know, but I just don't think that a fourth Ice Age movie is really necessary. Then I digress. There hasn't even been a full trailer for the thing, so what the heck. Number 9 is the $300 million behemoth known as John Carter. Now, I know that this pick and one other one that we'll discuss later is going to get me a crap load of flack, but we'll deal with that later. Now, John Carter, I just think looks flat out cheesy. It just looks like nothing but special effects and the same old tired story that we've seen 100 times. I realize that John Carter is a fairly old sci-fi story that has had a great influence over the newer sci-fi stories that we've seen, but that doesn't necessarily give the filmmakers an excuse for not doing anything new, and like I said, it just looks very lazy and completely reliant on its visuals. Not to mention, Taylor Kitsch doesn't look to be a very interesting leading man, and while I want to have faith in director Andrew Stanton, who comes from an animation background after Brad Bird's incredible job on Mission Impossible 4, he doesn't look to be doing anything too impressive here. And the movie is valued at about $300 million, so I don't think we're getting a John Carter 2, because this thing I don't think is going to be a huge hit. At number 8 is the second big budget schlockbuster coming out next year, starring Taylor Kitsch, Battleship. Man, poor Taylor Kitsch. This is going to be a rough year for him. What do I even have to say about this damn thing? It's Battleship, for God's sakes. Not only is the concept of making a movie based on this board game just incredibly silly, but the storyline just looks incredibly tired. It just looks like Battle Los Angeles on steroids. It's just yet another movie about the aliens coming down to Earth and blowing up a lot of stuff. And I can absolutely enjoy a big, dumb action movie. But I enjoy my big, dumb action movies when they're made with passion for big, dumb action movies. Not when they're clearly made by a soulless corporate entity who just wants to sell more Battleship board games. And not to mention, it squanders some very talented people, including the aforementioned Liam Neeson and director Peter Berg of The Kingdom and Hancock. Okay, remember when I said that there was going to be a movie on this list that was going to get me a lot of flack and hate comments? Ladies and gentlemen, at number 7, we have Disney Pixar's Brave. Now let me get this out of my system before I talk about this movie. I like Pixar. I like Pixar. I love Pixar. Pixar's a god. I like Pixar. Pixar's cool. Like them. Me gusta. You get the idea. But with that said, this movie looks incredibly uninspired. I'm sorry. It just does not look good. Not only does it just look like a blatant rip on just 1,000 stories we've heard before of the outcast character who rises up to become something greater, which I'm not saying is a bad trope and should be deleted forever. I'm just saying that in this particular case, it just seems like it's being done in such a formula we've seen before. In fact, it looks like a blatant How to Train Your Dragon ripoff. It looks like it's in the same setting, with the same characters. They even have the same accents, or very similar accents. I don't want to offend anybody. Similar accents. It just looks like I've seen it all before. And I know Pixar is capable of having surprises, because Lord knows Pixar has released some horrible trailers and turned around and made some great films. So if this movie's bad, great, you can blame me. But for now, Brave, not looking too good. At number 6, we have Bryan Singer's new fairy tale, Jack the Giant Killer. Now, I'm a big fan of Bryan Singer. Sure, he's made some missteps, but for the most part, pretty competent director. And I was looking forward to this film. Until I saw the trailer, and man, does this thing look like the Clash of the Titans of next year. Yes, I know Wrath of the Titans comes out next year, but hey, that actually looks fun. This looks like the first Clash of the Titans, except worse. Not really much to say. It just looks incredibly cheesy, very corny, nothing really to write home about. It just looks bad. It just looks like a bad movie that's gonna fail at the box office because it looks bad and will probably be bad. I mean, that's all I have to say. Move on. At number 5, we have Journey to the Mysterious Island. Get it? The 2 is like to the island, but it's also because it's the second. What to say here? This is pretty much the same situation as Jack the Giant Killer. The first Journey to the Center of the Earth was one of the worst movies in recent memory, and this one just looks to be following in its footsteps with cheesy special effects, horrible acting, miserable attempts at humor. Fantasy movies like this just make me mad. They exist just to extrapolate a gimmick, which in this case is 3D, and it's just exploiting The Rock, who's really trying to get out of these type of movies and make a comeback in his career, and he's going to have this crap fest on his resume. Adventure movies should be about ingenuity and discovery, not just going on a series of theme park rides, throwing it in a trailer, and selling people 3D garbage. At number 4, we have Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Now, I like the first Madagascar, and the second one. They're guilty pleasures. However, this is everything that I fear Ice Age will be, except I have a trailer for this one, and man, does this make my fear for Ice Age just go off the charts. Not only is it the same situation, and that it's the same 3 characters, killing their jokes that were funny in the first movie, decent in the second movie, and now flat out lame in the third movie. But the plot line just looks absolutely lazy. It just looks like it's going to be the typical dumb chase movie, and lots of set pieces and lots of dumb laughs for the kids, and hardy har har. Guess who's not laughing? Me. The first 2 movies actually seem to have a sense of what was clever in terms of comedic timing and how you could set up these set pieces to where you could actually have some good jokes. But this film looks like it was just lazily made to scoop up a paycheck. At number 3, we have The Three Stooges. Ba-boom. Hey, it's funnier than anything that's going to be in the movie. Now, I can talk for a while about how the Farrelly brothers are squandering their legacy by making this stupid movie and how it's an excuse to make celebrity cameos and how it butchers a classic, but instead, I'm going to demonstrate what your experience watching this movie is going to be. Hey, look at the band. There's one of them. There's one of them. Hey, there's one of them. Oh my God, look at them. What are we going to do? Oh my God. Movie screen. It's a movie screen. At number 2, we have the quote-unquote comedy, The Dictator. Now, I'm just going to come right out there and say it. I'm just not a fan of Sacha Baron Cohen's humor in the first place because I just don't think he's a good human being. I just really don't, but I'm not going to get into that, so I know it'll piss all you guys off. But just despite even that, this movie just looks so stupid. And not even stupid like The Three Stooges, just offensive as well. It looks offensively bad. You know what it looks like? It looks like The Love Guru. It looks like if The Love Guru took super steroids of shit. Not a single joke in the trailer made me laugh, and it just looks like a typical, hey, look at the funny Arabic guy. Look how he doesn't know anything. Ha ha ha, isn't that funny? Not to me, it's not. But all those movies combined look like absolute masterpieces compared to our final film, Mirror, Mirror. Now, this is the first of 2 Snow White movies we're going to get next year. And while Snow White and the Huntsman looks actually pretty damn good, this thing looks like an absolute disaster. I've never seen a director try to just overblow whimsy so much in a film into such an artificial point. But this guy, Tarsem Singh, he's done it. It looks unbelievably, annoyingly whimsical to the point where it just looks flat out repulsive. It looks like if a Hallmark card transformed into a film. I mean, it just looks absolutely cringeworthy. My jaw was on the floor, just in utter pain watching this trailer. And once I have that experience, I know that this is the one film that I dread seeing next year. So those are my top 10 movies to dread in 2012. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I'm Movie Kid Mike, making sure your time is worth your money.